welcome, family, to another installment of Metaphysics on Your Mind. First off, I just wanted to thank people that took a look at that music video and made comments. Very interesting responses. Obviously, there's no correct, or right answer, because again, when we're talking about things, that are metaphorical or whatever, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? You see what you see, and that's all cool. So thank you so much for those who took the time to throw a comment in there. Very insightful. Appreciate that. Second of all, I think what we're going to do is we're going to scale back a little bit and start doing one of these a week. I think what I was trying to do was 2 a week. Basically, the idea was that it was roughly about an hour of material per week, and so it would be split between, 2 installments, 25 to 30 minutes each. So, like a Wednesday and a Sunday or whatever. But, this stuff is dense and it takes time to get through, and people have you all have a lot of other things on your plate, so I don't want to presume that people that might be interested really have an opportunity to kind of keep up when it's twice a week. So we're going to scale back to probably once a week. Occasionally we might do a little short quickie one here and there, but for the most part, roughly about a half hour once a week. And then we're going to change up a little bit. We were going to go into Noah. We just finished Cain and Abel. And, I got to thinking, if we go back to the thesis that we started with, which was that the Bible was not literal and that it was a book of, as we can see, cosmic psychology. We'll see that even more so. And the other plank was that was a book about you and me, and that's kind of the point. Like, let's say we lay out a decent argument that the Bible isn't literal. I think as we've gone through so far, we can see that there's a bit more than meets the eye just going through the first parts of Genesis, and it doesn't change as we move forward. But what's the point? Why are we here? Why do we need to even explore whether it's literal or whether it's mythology or, mystic writing? And what happens if you do take it literal? Okay. I think that's really the question. Who cares if it's literal or not, unless you might be missing out on something by taking the book literally. We know there's truth in it, and we know that some verses are literally true. Some. But the point is that who needs to explore all of this if it doesn't or has no possibility of having an effect on your life? Why go through, because again, this is not new information. I'm not presenting anything that's new. I'm just connecting dots that I've come across. I've studied, many different people that have, was where my information comes from. So I'm not presenting, none of this there's nothing new under the sun. In my opinion, what is happening is what people refer to in the Bible as the time of revelation, the apocalypse. Well, apocalypse only means revealing, right? It's an age of revealing. We said when we talked about the precession of the equinoxes that we were either in or going into the age of Aquarius, okay, which is the age of knowing. So the whole point of all this is by taking the Bible literally, there's a plank in this thesis that's saying you might be missing out on something, or something that, shall we say, is being alluded to, that actually is a great deal of what the book is about. I've already put the proposition that that's meditation, okay? Because there's no reason to go through all this stuff outside of, some kind of academic exercise, which is not what we want this to be. The thesis that we're putting forward is saying that the book is trying to convey how we operate, how our minds work, and what we can do to transform ourselves from, just answer these questions. Who are you? And what are you doing here? Why are you on planet Earth? Why are you here? Are you here just because, your mom and dad, had sex and mom got pregnant and you're just here? What is the purpose that we have on this earth? Why are we here? Okay? That's the question. What is your purpose? What is my purpose on this earth? Well, I'm going to propose an answer. We'll double back to it as we move through this. But I'm going to propose that you come in with no purpose and you discover your purpose. That's if you are able to come into understanding of who you really are. Okay? Because we're going to go through a couple of verses, but the point is, we're proposing that we can pick out certain verses that will, instead of you having to go through, the whole book and learn this and become a scholar. What this book is saying, okay, there's two things. What does it say to do first? Okay, that's probably an easier way of entering into a discussion of why even go through this book. So let's go to real quick. Okay, Luke 11:52. Luke 11:52. Let's get that. Because we need to be, have an understanding that there is a goal here beyond saying that the Bible is not literal. Okay, big deal. Okay, Luke 11:52. This is Jesus Christ, the character in the book of Saint Mark. Mark 11:52. Okay. And let's see. Luke 11:52. Okay, here we go. Now, this is a quote from Christ, and he is speaking to the religious leaders. Okay? This is Luke 11:52. Woe unto you, lawyers, for ye have taken away the key of knowledge. Ye entered not in yourselves, and them that were entering in ye hindered. Okay? So what is Jesus saying? What does he mean? You've taken away the key of knowledge by not entering in yourself and hindering those who would enter in. What is this entering in? Okay. Entering in Let's do this. Okay. This is, we're going to say this is east. It's a little bit different from the one over here, okay? So this is east. This is north. This is west. This is south. Okay? North represents the emotions. East, remember, same as over here, represents the spirit, the spiritual nature. South, the physical body. West, intellectual. This is your intellectual nature. Remember in Revelation, in one of the prior installments we went through, and this same setup was the four horsemen of the apocalypse, right? The red horse was the emotions, the black horse was the intellectual, the white horse was the spirit, and the pale horse was the physical. In this particular setup, remember, the right hand of God, or the east of Eden, the garden, we're just flipping the directions around here just so that what you're facing, we're just going to assume you're facing north. So east is always on the right side. So as you can see, these are also the four elements, okay? And we're going to say the four elements, we're going to throw fire, because remember, spirit, fire, water. Just going to put this up here. We're going to go, actually, you know what? Yeah. Actually, let's not do that. That's going too far. Let's keep this as simple as possible, right? So anyway, this is the fourfold nature: intellectual, physical, spiritual, emotional. It's also, these would be the coordinates for it. When you read this book, there's going to be references to men of the north. And then we've already seen references to the east of Eden. We also know that east would be the right hand, right? The right hemisphere. Whenever you see the reference to the right hand, it's talking about the right hemisphere of the brain. And the intellectual would be represented by the left hemisphere, the logical mind, right? And then below, the physical body, which has, this manifold nature that it carries, right? What this is all about is saying that when you live out of the physical, okay, when you live out of the physical nature, which is these three, okay, you're eating from the knowledge of the tree of good and evil. In other words, your life is going to be a mixed bag. It's going to be a mix of some good days, some not so good days. You're going to have a situation where you're not going to feel at times in that particular plane of existence, when you're living in just the physical, when you're living in the lower, that's literally what the Bible is talking about as hell. When we get to the chakras, we're going to say, we're also going to see that that's also synonymous with these lower chakras, right? This and the left hemisphere, or the lower mind, represents the carnal self, right? The carnal self, let's see what, we're going to leave this up here for right now, but let's see what the carnal self, which would be bang, bang, bang. When you have this comes along with it, right? We already talked about the spirit. We're proposing that the spirit is the soul, made in the image of God. And that doesn't mean when it says male and female that the light man is a hermaphrodite. What it means is that it's positive and negative, masculine and feminine. Your soul, the light being within, the power source that operates your physical body and mind, is male and female. It's positive and negative. We all have the same. What's different is the physical. You know, where in most cases you come out as either a male or a female. Okay? But the spirit is both. It is made in the image of God. And we define that God was light, right? And we know that when you think of light source, as we know, everything is energy. But when you're talking about your soul, because remember, what's the other word for sun? Sun, soul, okay? Image of God. So basically the moral of the story is you operate on a bicycle built for two. Your physical body has a physical carnal self, these three, and it has a spiritual self. This Eve, the life-giving spirit that we talked about, that which comes before, this is the power cell. This is the battery power. This is what's going to operate. This is the energy source. Remember what we said about all the L's? I said everything was electromagnetism, right? Elohim, we talked about, was a name for God. Elder, elect, elevate, L. What's all these L's? Remember we said the angels were Gabriel, Michael, and so on. L, electricity, the power within. As a matter of fact, let's throw this part up here. Who are you and what are you doing here on this place called planet Earth? What's your plan? What's your purpose? That's what we're all asking ourselves, right? I guess some of us know and some of us don't. But that's a question for us. Okay. All right. Israel. Now, you know of Israel as, in the Bible, the children of Israel, so on and so forth. And then we have a country called Israel today. Israel comes from, in ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, okay? Israel is for the great mother, goddess Isis, the ancient Egyptian deity, the name for Amun, or as you know it in the Bible, Amen, Amen Ra, represented by the sun, is Ra El. El was the name of, in Babylon, the Babylonian god is referred to as El. El is the power within, which we know today as electricity. Okay? Electricity, that's why we have the Elohim and all the angels ending in the EL. It's hidden. Okay? So who are the children of Israel? The children of Israel is all of us, your soul. That's what this is trying to tell you. This is the Holy Mother, the Holy Father, the power within. That power source, solar plexus energy, okay? That's what this is. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to discover who we are. Ancient Egyptian saying was, know thyself. And to go even further, know thyself and ye will know the gods. Are not the Elohim in the likeness of God? Are we not in the likeness of God? We know it's not the physical body. We already know that was out of the dust of the ground. So in other words, this bicycle built for two, your soul has a different destiny than your body. Okay? And with your body goes your emotions and your intellect. Okay? So Israel, every person on this planet that has a soul, at least, is a Israelite when they discover who they really are. So in other words, who they really are isn't the physical personality, isn't Cain, the ego. Okay? Cain is the operator that we need in this bodysuit that we wear. The lower mind, right? The physical is operated by Cain. And this is a symbol. But the vehicle, the passenger, the only one that counts because made in the image of God, therefore eternal, is the soul, is the son. Because your soul is also referred to as the Son of Man. Because it is both the Son of Man in the sky, but it's also the Son of Man in you. It is your power source. It is your light. Okay? That's what this is all about, is discovering who we really are. Not getting caught up in all the externals, but basically every character in this book is actually you. You know who Pharaoh is in the Exodus? Pharaoh is Cain, the ego. And the Lord says, let my people go. Let the Israelites go. Let the right hemisphere dwelling sun, when it rises, let them go. Your ego, your lower mind. Okay? That's Pharaoh. And what does Pharaoh mean? Light. Okay? All of this stuff is about light and darkness, but it's really all about you. Every character in this book, from Cain to Abel to Adam to Eve to Noah to Joshua, every character is an aspect of your personality. Okay? It's happening out there in the story, but in truth, this is all mental. We're going to chop this at this point here and come up on the next installment, and we'll pick it up from there. Once again, thank you so much. Peace.